Hi, and welcome to Equilar's 3-Minute Takes. Today, we'll be talking about peer insight. Many companies are reviewing the benchmarking practices of other companies, which range from peer group composition to CD&A disclosures. If you're reviewing or looking at making changes to your company's peer group, peer insight can help you quickly gather in-depth information. Let's jump into the peer insight product by clicking on Peer Group Dashboard. Before we go further, let's talk about the 3 main groups of companies that appear in the peer group dashboard. The first, and likely the most common, is my company's peer group. These are the companies I benchmark to. The next group is what we call second-degree peers. This set of companies consists of all of the companies in the peer groups of my direct peers. If I were company A, I might benchmark to company B. Company B might then benchmark to company C. Thus, company C is my second-degree peer or my peer's peer. Finally, there is a group of companies that include me in their peer group, but that I do not include in mine. These are companies that consider me a peer, even if I do not consider them to be peers. If I'm looking to add new companies to my peer group, these companies are often great candidates. For the purposes of this demonstration, I'm going to play the role of a company evaluating possible changes to its peer group. My company will be Google. The best place to start is by looking at my current peer group, which I've already loaded. Using the tool, I get a quick summary of where I stand in relation to my peers. I can sort this list by common company size metrics, giving me the ability to identify the largest and smallest of the companies very quickly. Additionally, I may want to see which of these companies are the most similar in revenue size. My company, Google, is represented by the blue dot on the scale. As I adjust the sliders, the companies displayed will change, allowing me to filter the results to match companies closer to my size. At any point during this analysis, I can click on any company's number of peers to view the actual list of companies in that peer group. I'll see an abbreviated list of peers with the ability to drill down into the full list of companies. When it comes to designing peer groups, it can be easy to identify companies that are not good fits, but it's much more difficult to find replacements for those I remove. One way I can find new peer candidates is by looking at the second-degree peers tab. These are companies that my peers disclose as peers, but I don't. As you can see, there are many new names on this list. I can also filter this list in the same way I did with my own peer group, highlighting the companies closest in size to my own. In addition, I can sort this list by percentage of peers. This represents what percentage of my peers use a given company as a benchmark. Here we can see that Dell has 83.3% of peers in common with me, meaning 5 out of 6 companies in my peer group use Dell for benchmarking purposes. I can also get new peer suggestions by looking at the companies that benchmark to me. This list contains companies that disclose Google as a peer, but aren't declared as peers by me. It's important to track this list, since these companies may use my company to benchmark pay, and may consider my company's executives as job candidates. If I want to sort the companies myself, or build a list using different financial metrics, I can also download any of this information to Excel. The peer dashboard is just one element of peer insight. There are several other useful tools in the program, including CD&A report, which allows me to quickly see how any company, including my peer group, discloses difficult issues like clawbacks or say-on-pay. For a quick example, I'll do a search on companies that are already discussing say-on-pay issues within the CD&A and have revenues of greater than $1 billion. This provides an alphabetized list of all the companies that match this criteria, any of which I can remove by unchecking a box. By clicking Run Report, I can drill down to the individual filings, with the relevant search term highlighted in yellow. Here we see Aflac discussing their previous introduction of shareholder advisory votes. Peer Insight also includes the Consultant League table, which can tell me which pay advisor a given company uses, as well as market share analysis for the most experienced advisor in a specific industry or set of companies. Using this report, you can then see which consulting firms have the highest penetration in a given industry. For example, I'll search for retail companies with greater than $1 billion in revenues. In our search, we can actually see that the largest set of companies, 23, do not use a consulting firm. The second largest set of companies, 20, engages Hay Group. They have 13 engagements with the board and 7 engagements with management. And that's all there is to it. In just minutes, I've helped my company gain total peer intelligence using Peer Insight from Equilar.